This podcast is produced by Outcomes Rocket, your healthcare exclusive digital marketing agency. Outcomes Rocket exists to help healthcare organizations like yours to maximize their impact and accelerate growth. Visit outcomesrocket.com or text us at 312-224-9945.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Expanding Access, recorded live here at Behavioral Health Tech in Arizona. I am with the amazing Chris Powell. He is the CEO at Prosperity Behavioral Health. Chris, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming to the show, and thanks for taking a few minutes to talk and learn a little bit about us.
Yeah, I was looking forward to our chat today. And to kick things off, tell us why you came to Behavioral Health Tech this year.
This show is a great platform for the growth in behavioral health that's going on. And it's interesting because this show is really mostly digital companies that are driving new models of digital care. We're actually a revenue cycle management company. So in some ways, people are like, well, geez, what are you doing here? And the reality is that for organizations to be able to implement and use new technologies, they have to have a solid business background. And so that's really where we come in. So this has been a great opportunity for us to see what's happening in the digital world, connect with some movers and shakers in the space. And it's always good to make sure you're understanding what's happening.
Yeah.
Behavioral health and getting close to the people using the products.
That's great. That's great. I know you just shared some, but tell us a little bit more about you and also the company.
Yeah, I've been at Prosperity for 6 months, but I've been in healthcare for, you can probably tell, a long time, 35, 40 years, always in healthcare technology and healthcare services. I was really drawn to Prosperity. I had worked at a company called Aspenti Health and actually wrote a book called Unhooked, which was about the care of behavioral health and substance use disorder recovery and the journey of recovery in healthcare. So I've always been very connected with behavioral health, as I think many of us are in the world, because but it is our families or friends and people we know, often we have connections and struggle, right? Prosperity was an opportunity for me to jump back into the space and work with a company that is making a big difference for our customers, growing, and in the behavioral health space, which is seeing massive growth, which is straining the whole system, really. And so it was a neat opportunity. Prosperity, our vision is pretty simple. It's powering behavioral health for a brighter future. And we really believe in that. And we believe we do that by taking out complexities of the financial infrastructure that you have to be successful in running a behavioral health clinic in today's crazy healthcare environment.
Love it. And you mentioned at the beginning, you're focused on revenue cycle management. So is that the main thread that you're after, helping folks get the money that they're owed, run it smoothly?
That's exactly it. It's
hard, right? It's hard.
It's really hard. It's really complicated. And making something complicated simple is an art, right? And so we look at it as both art and science because we use technology-enhanced services. So we're a very people-centric organization that uses technology to help drive results. But the reality is, as you may have heard at some of your other conversations you've had, over 1 billion people in the world struggle with mental health and mental illness. And that's 50 million people in the U.S. And only about 10% of those people are getting care. And to get all these other people into the system, it's stressing the system. In the system, the behavioral health clinics aren't used to such an influx. So there's a shortage of clinicians, and there's a lot of stress on the infrastructure of the financials. And that's where we come in and really helping simplify that, and helping organizations get a handle on their financials so they can grow.
I love it. Yeah, it's critical work. Could you elaborate on the specific challenges behavioral health organizations face managing their rev cycle and how these challenges differ from those in other areas in healthcare?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think what behavioral health has always been a little bit outside the core healthcare.
Yeah.
And that's probably created some opportunity, but it also creates a lot of challenge. The Mental Health Parity Act the Affordable Care Act, a lot of focus from the government on getting people more access to care into a system that's struggling to manage that access. When all these people come into the system, you have to be able to add services, you have to be able to add locations, you have to be able to add clinicians. The only way you can do that is if you have a strong financial infrastructure. And that's what we do. We provide that financial infrastructure. I'll give you a real example. I was talking with a CEO of a large clinic that was recently at a session in Florida with 25 of his peers. And they said, what's your top issue? And they all said revenue cycle and dealing with the payers. So payers, commercial payers, are now coming into behavioral health like they never have before. That's creating stress because a typical behavioral health clinic doesn't have the skill set or the people and the experience. How do I contract with a payer? How do I make sure I'm getting paid what I contracted for? And if you're missing out on those opportunities, you're going to lose the opportunity to maximize your revenue. So where we come in is our skill set is all around that component of the business. We understand payers, we understand contractor. We have technology that helps make workflow efficient and get things done more quickly. That benefits the behavioral health clinic in the fact that they now have more financial wherewithal to expand services, to go get more patients, to touch more patients, to invest in some of the digital technology we're seeing here that is new clinical innovation to help mental wellness.
Yeah, thanks for that. That really makes it clear, Chris. What would you say are Prosperity behavioral health superpowers compared to other vendors in the behavioral health revenue cycle space?
Great question. Thanks. Superpowers. So we all like Spider-Man and Superman, but an interesting question. We touched on some of it, people and technology working together. But I'd say when I think about there's 4 things that I think about with Prosperity. I think one, we are revenue cycle at our core. And that means we live and breathe this every day. Customers in nearly 40 states, we have a perspective that really helps us bring a national perspective to a local client. And that's pretty exciting. We lead with our behaviors. We're a behavior-driven organization and a values-driven organization. And I think that's really important in our space because behavioral health isn't nested in trust. And I think that one of the things that we do is build trust with our customers through how we act as a partner. And that's critical. I think the third thing we do, as I mentioned, is our ability to use technology to accelerate results. So the technology we use is used internally for us, but it's a workflow and reporting tools that is modularized from billing to reporting across the spectrum that gives our ability to drive insights for our customers to be efficient and get paid quicker and get paid the right amount. And we track things through the process so we know when something's going awry. The other interesting part of that, just as an aside, is AI. We're hearing a lot about AI at this conference, and AI has a big role in the revenue cycle management to helping do predictive actions for my team so we can get ahead of things and respond quicker. And the last thing I would say for us is our ability to be really flexible. And a lot of RCM companies, revenue cycle management companies, want to do all of your revenue cycle. We don't need all of it. We want to help. So we're happy to come in and flex with organizations as they grow. Just take a little piece of something maybe they're struggling with, like authorizations or verification of benefits, and help them on that. And then if we need to throttle back, we will, or we can expand.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You give them the level of service that they're looking for, and that's it.
That's exactly right. It's critical because, again, you don't have to, there's so much going on in healthcare right now, and the clinics are so overwhelmed that sometimes giving something like revenue cycle to a partner is a scary proposition. So to be able to say, hey, let's try it, we'll work here, we'll show you results, and if that makes sense, we'll keep doing it. If it doesn't, we can step out.
Love it. Are you seeing a lot of the same issues in mental health as are seen in general health with prior authorizations and things like that?
Significant issues around prior authorizations, verification of benefits. In behavioral health, the technology isn't in place as much as it is in, again, what I call core healthcare.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of challenges for our customers. We're investing in our tech stack to accelerate that. We're using some AI tools to do authorization work, as an example. I call the payers to get authorization. That's more efficient. That means we're going to be able to get back to our customers quicker with that authorization. They can get the patient in to get the care that they need, so that process of getting better can happen sooner.
That's great. That's great, Chris. Thank you so much for that. Look, this has been fantastic to chat with you about the business of mental health.
That's it. Business of mental health.
For the people that can't be here, obviously we're doing these so they could walk away with insights. So what would you leave them with as a call to action? And if they need help, where can they reach out to learn more about what you and your company does?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks again. Thanks for the conversation.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. In its simplest terms, as I said, we're working to provide the right business infrastructure is critical. But what's that really mean? At the end of the day, the more margin we can create, the more minds you can access as a customer, period. The margin and profit means you can do things to expand your services to create healthy communities, healthy patients, and healthy minds. And that's what we love about what we do. That's our passion and how we really inject hope into the system. And you can learn more about us at theprosperitybh.com. And we'd love to hear from you. And whether it's just to get some help or advice or more than that, we're ready to be a partner.
Awesome. Chris, thank you very much. Really appreciate your insights today. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. And for everybody tuning in, we're with Chris Powell, CEO of Prosperity Behavioral Health. Just tremendous value that he just shared today. If you're looking for help in that revenue cycle space, maybe it's holding you back. It doesn't have to anymore. In the show notes of today's episode, you'll have his information, his team's information on ways to get in touch to take your practice and your organization to the next level. Chris, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Very much appreciate it. Good luck.
You too.
This podcast is produced by Outcomes Rocket, your healthcare exclusive digital marketing agency. Outcomes Rocket exists to help healthcare organizations like yours to maximize their impact and accelerate growth. Visit outcomesrocket.com or text us at 312-224-9945.